Hello, my name is Eduardo and today I am here with a new tutorial for App Inventor or appybuilder or thunkable or MakerOid. Today I will be showing you how to make a very simple game, okay? So that is based on Angry Birds. Okay, it is not like real Angry Birds, okay? But it's something very simple that it can be like a pretty good project for you. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So I have in this case this little bird, and we have the pig. So and then we are going to use this. We are going to throw the bird through to the pig. So I'm going to show you. I have to do it in my device. I am using flung. That's why you see this little line. Okay, because I just enable this function in the options in my tablet. Okay, so basically that is the idea. When you crash the pig, well, you reset the position and then you just start again to try. Okay, so this is the first try for this experiment. Okay, so I will make more things in the next tutorials, but for today we're going to keep it simple and we're going to make this kind of throwing bird, okay, or crappy Angry Birds version. Okay, so let's start with the tutorial. Well, to make things easier, I will share with you the initial file as usual. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, okay, that will help me a lot. So let's reduce this, okay, just for us to see what it's happening in the screen. I guess that's okay. So let's remove this and then this thing. So the first thing is create a project. Okay, so let's create a new project based on this one. So Angry Birds projectile test. So let's call it Angry Birds tutorial 01. So we have here. Remember that you can follow this tutorial also with thunkable or appybuilder or MakerOid. So I was trying to use some of them, but I had a problem with my cell phone, so I don't have space and I'm not able to update with some of them, so that's why. But then I will work with them. So well, we have this project, and for you to work, let's destroy all these blocks. That's it. So I have destroyed everything. Yes, save the empty screen. We have everything ready. We have the horizontal arrangement, the canvas, and I added 2 balls. I will explain you. Okay, so I'm going to improve what I did because this was just a test. So well, we have this file, and this file is for you. Okay, so I will share it as I told you in the comment section. Please don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Well, anyway, so well, let's export this AIA. So it is exported, and then we are going to make a new, say, project as tutorial 01 teacher. That's, well, I'm not a teacher, but well, yes, actually I am a teacher, but not like for App Inventor or something. Anyway, so let's continue. Now the first thing is we need to check this. What is the thing that we have in here? Well, I have a label, and this label is just to check values, for example the speed or something. Okay, so it's a good idea just to debug things. Okay, then we have the horizontal arrangement. So if you want to keep it like big screen or small screen, okay, so I was planning to have it a little bit smaller, so not like a full screen app. So, but well, for now, let's keep it right like that, okay? Then we are going to make more versions. Then we have the canvas, the horizontal arrangement, center, 85% high, 95%, okay, for the width. So then we have the canvas to fill parent inside this arrangement. Then we have 2 balls. I was using balls because at the beginning I was just testing balls, okay, so and then just added the sprites, but let's make some changes. Let's destroy the balls and let's destroy this ball. Then we have the sprites. This is for the angry bird, so let's rename this to bird sprite. And then we are going to rename the pig sprite. Ready. Then we have the clock. We are going to disable the clock. It's not necessary. I let the time interval to 1, so I guess that's okay. So, and these are the changes for this. Also in the screen we need to check. So we centered everything. Background image, no, just the color. Icon, we can use some of the images of the bird or the pig. I'm going to use this one. I added 2 birds actually, so we have this kind of red one, or we can use the green one. Okay, so for example here, the green one. Also, don't forget to check my Patreon page if you want to support my to help me continue with these things. Then in the sprites, I have all the information that it's, I guess, not necessary to modify right now because we're going to use the blocks to set everything. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Sorry, I know it's quite annoying. I have a background also that it is in the file. You can change it. So I guess we're going to start with this. The first thing is we need to create a initialize. We're going to use initialize here in screen. What it's going to happen when we start the app, and we're going to use procedures, okay, to keep everything organized. The first thing that we want, it is to, as usual, to set the size and the position, the initial positions for our sprites. Okay, so let's start first with a size and position. And you can call sprites or everything, okay? So I guess this is okay. Let's start with the bird. Let's use the width and the height. Just for you to let you know, the images, okay? These images are 512 pixels, okay? These are squares. So, well, let's start with this one. So procedures on the left side, okay? Events like this one on the right side. So the first thing is just to resize this bird. So we're going to use here, we're going to calculate based on the percentage of the canvas. Canvas width. We're going to use the value of the canvas width. Where is it? Canvas width, canvas width, canvas width. So, and we're going to multiply this, okay, to get the percentage times. If you have followed my tutorial, well, you know that this is the usual way I resize and position things based on percentage. So the canvas width times, in this case, 7%. Okay, so in this case you have to say 0.07, it's equals to the 7% of the screen. Okay, if you set it to 0.7, it's 70%. Okay, so watch out. So 0.07, it's 7%. So I want my bird sprite to be 7% of the width of the canvas. Then we're going to duplicate this and we're going to set the height of the bird. Now, we don't want to make extra calculations, okay? So, as I told you, this is a square, okay? This image is a square, so in square we have the same size for the different size of the square, okay? So, of the image in this case. So, we are going to copy the property from the bird sprite that we just calculated. In this case, this one. Bird sprite width. So, we copy this value that we calculated in the height and we make a perfect square. Now, the bird and the pig have the same size. Okay, so we just are going to copy these values. We duplicate these two blocks and we just change the names. So pig sprite, and pig sprite. And also, well, this is extra calculation because we already calculated the width, so it's not necessary to do that. Okay, so in this case, I mean, it's pretty simple, but in this case we are helping App Inventor, okay, to avoid unnecessary calculations. So we just duplicate this value and we just paste it over there and we have it. Okay, so that's it. I guess that's the way we do it. So, and then this is already done, the size. We are going to load this procedure. When you create a procedure, remember, always you have to load them in events, because if not, they are not going to run. So we have it initialized. Then we just, I guess we're not going to check it right now because we need to connect companion again because we created the project. So let's reset the connection and let's run companion. Okay. So I guess it's this one. And then we're going to run it again. So we have W O Q F J Q, and I guess that's okay. So we just wait a little bit, and then we have the size of the sprites. We can check them here. So they are okay, but now we need to place them, right? So now to place them, I guess we're going to check. Okay, so in this case, probably this is, remember, when you have the values in the screen, okay, higher, I mean here, so this is, we have X and Y. Now X, in this case X, it is here like 0, and in here it's the maximum value. Okay, so you start here 0 and probably here is like 200. I mean, this is just an example. And also it's 0 for Y, and the values increase when you get to the bottom of the screen. Okay, so that's important. Now I want to place this green bird over here, so that I mean that I have to increase its Y position. So probably I want to set it like 80% or 70% of the height of the screen. So let's do it. So first we're going to use this same procedure that we used to resize. We're going to duplicate this, but we are not going to resize. We're going to place in the Y position. So for Y position, and we're not going to use the width because we're talking about the height when we talk about width, Y. Okay, so we're going to use height. And then I'm going to set it, if I set it to 0.5, it's the 50% of the screen. Let's see what happens if we do it. 50%. So it is in the middle of this, but it is not correctly placed in the middle. Why? Because it is considering, imagine that this is the box of the sprite. So App Inventor, it's considering that this is the origin. Okay, so it's on the upper left corner of the image. So that's why this is the center. Okay, so to avoid that, we're going to fix a little bit this, and we're going to place it, we're going to set, you know, this value minus, I guess it is that one, divided by 2. We're going to use one of the values that we just calculated. In this case, the height or the width, it's the same, but we're going to use the height divided by 2. And it's going to move the origin a little bit. So let's do it. And it is in the center. So we are just going to move in this, okay? So now it's in here, the center, in the center of the red, the green bird. So we have that part. Now we are going to place it. So 50% it's not okay. So you can do it this, okay, depending on your platform or whatever. Okay, you can do it just like trying different values and using companion. That's why it's pretty useful using to use companion. If I set it to 80%, then I just do it. Okay, I can do this thing, this do it option, because I have companion. Okay, so work with companion. Do it. Oh, thanks, it worked. Oh, you're welcome. So it's almost there. So we are going to fix that. So probably I need to reduce this to 78%. So we do it. It's almost there. Okay, so I guess I like it. Or 79. What about a little bit over the green thing? Yes, that's okay. And now for pig, it's the same. But well, first we need the Y and then the X position. So it's almost the back of the screen. So I guess that's okay. So a little bit, let's use X now, and we change width. And we use width. Now to center this, if I set it, what about 20%, 0.2, it's the 20%. So let's do it. That's okay. Probably I guess it's okay. For me, it's okay. 20% of the screen. Now for Piggy, we are going to do the same. We just duplicate these blocks. These two blocks, X and Y, and change the names. This is okay. Change the name, and now we're going to change the values. So probably for the pig at the beginning, it's okay, the same position in Y. Okay, so just in front of our bird. And then I'm going to use the X. The X here is not okay to be here. Probably here, as I told you, we increase the values in Y. Okay, so from 0, in X, I mean, from 0 to the maximum size available for your screen. So in this case, we're going to use something like 80%. What about 80% in the in this one, in the width? So for the X position of the pig. So now let's do it. Oh, sorry. I did it. What I did, I just duplicate this. Sorry. We destroy. We do it. It's okay. And then we are going to place it in the Y position. And it's okay. So now we have load the procedure in the event is screen initialized. Now we are going to refresh the screen. Okay, so to do that, I do this. Okay, so there are many ways to do it, but I like to do it like this. So I just go to screen, and about screen I write a different value, and if everything is connected correctly, it will refresh the screen, and that's it. We have everything placed over there. Okay, so we created the first procedure. Remember, I use just percentages, so you can just collapse this block, and then we're going to go to the next part. So we can go to create variables. Variables are values that we are going to use constantly during the app. Okay, so in this case, so I'm not an expert in physics. Okay, so I was terrible at physics and math also, but now I like them. But anyway, so we want to use this thing that throw this bird. Okay, so to do that, we're going to use flung. Flung event is like swiping. Okay, so we're going to use that. And just you have to keep in mind something. This bird, it's going to move forward and upwards. Okay, so it's going to use two different values. One like one speed or velocity for the X and velocity for the Y. So that's why we're going to have this movement. Now, if we have this just horizontal value, I guess we're going to do it little by little to see what's going on this, okay? We're going to use, as I told you, the event flung. We're not going to use the flung event in the sprite. I guess we're going to use just the canvas, okay? Because we want to drag in any part of the canvas and to make this flung thing, okay? And what it's good about this is that we have different values that we can use later on. So we have the heading, so this is the direction where the bird is going to go. We have speed, and we have velocity and y velocity, okay? So we're going to use those ones. So now the first thing that we're going to make, it is create two variables. As I told you, we have the events, and now the variables, we can create the variables here on the right. Events in the center if you want. So let's call this one xbell, okay? So let's call bird xbell. So the velocity for the bird. Oh, sorry. Bird xbell. Yes, sorry, it was my mistake. So, and we're going to set the initial value to 0 because it's going to be like stopped. Then we're going to duplicate this one, and we're going to create bird y bell, the velocity, and also we set it to 0. Okay, and then let's work with this one first with the x. So here we're going to drag this value in the flung. When we make a flung, we want to take the velocity, okay, this value that it's going to give us App Inventor, and we're going to copy it over our global variable because we're going to use it later, okay? So, and now we're going to have a value here. Now if we go, we're going to create now, to move the sprite, we need the clock. It's going to update the position of the bird every time the clock tickles. Okay, so that's the word, I don't know, but sounds good. So now let's go here and let's add this. So if you check the position here, imagine that the position here, it's like in the 20%. So we are going to increase the current position plus the velocity in x right now. Okay, when we do this, we're going to do that. Okay, so basically that is the idea. So to do that, as I told you, we are going to increase its current position. Okay, so we are going to go to bird sprite x plus the current position plus this velocity thing. So we are going to get this x velocity and the current position. So current position in x. That's it. Now the clock is disabled. When we flung, we want to enable the clock. We're going to go here and we're going to enable this clock. We are going to set it to true, and that's it. Now we have this, and I guess let's see what's happening right now if we flung. Remember, we are going to get the velocity while we swipe or flung. Okay, so I'm going to make it with my finger because in the screen it's quite difficult. So let's see what's happening. Check, I flung and just goes and stops over there. Okay, so I continue velocity. Okay, so that's okay. Now we need to disable everything. What happens when we touch an edge? Okay, like this one or this edge or the top. Well, we want to reset the positions. Okay, so well, anyway, we have the position, the starting position. So we have this. For y, it's quite the same. Okay, so check. We're going to duplicate this one, and we're going to change this to y, and we're going to use the y value. So now let's reset this. As I told you, we're going to refresh the screen. Let's go for blocks, and then check what happens when I do this. Okay, so also I have the velocity, the y velocity here, sorry, y velocity, that it's copying from here, so here, and it's copying this local variable of the x and y to this global variable that we can use in other events. Okay, so now I have this, and we can do the same for the y. We just change this thing to y, and use the y velocity. But now it's going to do something different. Check. I'm going to do it a flung, small flung, and check. The bird goes, and it's not going down because in real life, so let me move. I swipe now to the other side. Stay there, man. Why? Well, because in real life, when we go up, there is something that it's bringing us down. What is that? Well, it is the gravity force. Okay, so gravity, it's something that it's going to take us down when you jump. Okay, so well, you are not going to go like this bird. Okay, because there is a force that is acting over you, that it's the gravity. So we're going to create gravity here. For now, we're going to set the gravity to 4. And now what is happening here? So we have gravity now. We're going to set it gravity force. Oh, sounds cool. So we have a value of 4. Now, when we go down here, when we go down with the flung thing, check the velocity that we have. We have this value, 0.2. So the values get bigger when we go like that. Okay, when I make the flung, the bird goes up. So it is like with negative values, because as I told you here, in y, 0, it is in here, and the maximum value it's in here. So the gravity force in this case, it is like positive, okay, because it's bringing this bird down. So how? Well, in the clock, we need to make something to the velocity. The velocity, it's affected, the y velocity. So first we're going to do this. We're going to use global x. Yes, I know there is an error, sorry. Okay, so let's do it like this. Let's just move this guy. And now check. I'm going to modify, because the y velocity, it's equals. Okay, so the current velocity that we got from the flung plus the gravity force. So it's like opposite forces, because when we do this flung upwards, we are going to get negative values, and in this case the gravity force is positive. So then first we update the y velocity, and then this one. Well, let's reset everything, and let's see how is this thing working. Refresh. Now let me do it with my finger. Oops, it's too strong. Okay, so if you check gravity force, it's a little bit too much, so let's reduce it to 1. Yes, it's like doing that thing. Let's refresh. I'm going to refresh because values are changing. I know it's quite annoying right now. So we reset. We have a gravity force of 1, but check. It's quite the thing. Okay, we're going to modify these values later on. So we have the initial thing almost ready. Now we need to stop the bird when it gets to the edges. So we need to set some limits for the bird. So we're going to go to the edge reach. Okay, so what happens when the sprite get an edge? So if you check here the edges, we have north, it's number 1, northeast number 2, 3, 4, and then you go like a circle like this. So we want to stop the bird when we get to these positions, okay, so to these edges. So we're going to create a stop bird procedure. Where are my procedures? Over here. So let's expand this block because I like to see everything. So let's create a new procedure to stop the bird. Okay, so edge reach stop bird edge reach. That's it. Okay, so we're going to stop the bird when we reach an edge. So what is the thing? Well, we need to detect if we are, what's going to happen when we reach an edge. Well, first we want to update our variables. We want to set the x velocity to 0, the y velocity to 0, and we want to stop the clock. The clock is moving everything, so we want to stop this guy. We're going to set it to false, and then we reset the positions, and also we need to reset the bird position. Okay, now there is something in here. We're going to be using these positions a lot, so we can create another procedure that is reset bird position. So we're going to reset its position, and if you remember, here we have the original position of the bird, that it was this one. Duplicate, we're going to here bird sprite, the ones that we use in set size and position. Now we have these values and we're going to drop them right here. Okay, we reset the bird position and we're going to use this position. Okay, so we're going to go here and we're going to drag this procedure. That it's going to happen when we get to the edge or to a specific edge. So we can make it like here. So in this case, any edge, I guess it will be like the one that it's going to activate this. So we can use here stop bird edge reach when we get to an edge. So now let's, okay, you check, and that's it. When we get to the edge, it resets its position. Now we need to modify a little bit the force. Okay, if you check, we need more force in this case. So to do that, we're going to go here when we get these values and we're going to multiply them, okay, to adjust the force. So you have to test different values. For the x, I'm going to use, what about 4 times or 3 times? We're going to do the same for this y. Okay, this is just to make it stronger. Okay, so we're going to use here 3 also, and then we're going to adjust this. Okay, so now if we do it right now, much better, right? Check, little, not very hard. Sorry, I told you, but you're not watching this. Sorry. So let's make this thing bigger. Now let's just, so with less effort, I'm able to go over these things. I guess that's okay. And that's it. Now there is something, probably we can fix it later. So I want my bird when it gets to this position. Okay, so in the here to this position, to reset its position here. Probably I want that. Okay, so not to this edge, so probably this edge. We can add an invisible sprite and we can just use it to detect that. Okay, so, but I guess we're going to do that in the next episode. Okay, so now we have the bird and we're throwing the bird. Now let's move just the pig to make it more interesting. So every time we have this collision with the pig, we want to reset the position of the pig. Okay, so right now we are going to make it like if the bird is like just like flying. Okay, then we're going to modify this, don't worry. So this is just the initial thing. I guess these tutorials are going to be really good. And if you check, we have made something very cool with just almost no blocks. Okay, with a little thing. It's just that. Well, anyway, so we want to have to check the collision with the pig. So if the bird has a collision with other, well, the pig, so we're going to use an if condition. So we're going to use here true if other equals, okay, so if the thing that we are having collision it's pig, we go to the bottom and we just drag its name, the sprite. What is going to happen when we have this collision? Well, we are going to have something similar to this procedure that we used. We are going to duplicate this one and we're going to call it stop bird pig collision. And quite similar, we're going to reset everything, stop the clock and reset the bird position, and we are going to reset the pig position. So now for the pig position, we're going to create something similar to the first procedure and we're going to duplicate the reset bird position. Now we're going to reset pig position. Now we change this to pig, and we're going to use here something different. Let's reduce a little bit this for you to see. Pig, and pig. Now, for the Y position, we want to place our pig, okay, in a position over here or over here. Okay, so no more than the 79%, no more than the 79% of the canvas. So that means something like here. So, and no less than the, probably, what about here, like 20%. Okay, so from the 20 to the 79% of the width of the height of the screen. So I want the pig appear in every random position from here to here. Well, this is very useful, this thing. I've never used that before. Anyway, so to do that, we're going to use here random. Okay, so we go to random integer. So instead of using 0.79, we're going to use it here. But we're not going to use, we need to use complete numbers. Okay, so in this case, check a random upper and lower bound. So let's use here 79. Okay, I guess this is the maximum value, and the minimal value, it will be like 20%. Now this is not percent. To get the percent, we're going to divide this by 100. Okay, so this result divided by 100, and that's it. That's going to happen over there. Now we go to insert this procedure here in bird collide. What's going to happen? Well, we're going to reset the pig position And also, well, reset peak position, sorry, let's use it, let's make it more, I guess let's improve this. Remember that we have stop the bird peak collision, we reset the position of the bird, and then we're going to call this one, yes, inside here, stop the bird peak collision. Sorry, no, my mistake. Reset peak position. That's why you need to name these things correctly. If not, you are going to get confused. But anyway, so now we are going to drag the whole procedure. Stop verb peak collision. Now let's go to the blocks. I mean to the companion, and let's try to hit Piggy boy. Ugh, I'm terrible. That's it. Now Pig is resetting its position to this side, but we don't want him to be here. So to do that is because I just copy the procedure from the bird. Remember that we have it Pig, it's in 80% of the X, okay? So also we can do the same with the X, okay, to make it more interesting. So let's do it. I guess we're going to remove this one and we're going to duplicate this just to make it easier. So instead of that, we just change to width. I am in the reset peak position, okay? So now the value, I want my peak to be here. So 80% it's almost here. So I want to reset the position here from probably from the 60%, okay, more than the half of the screen, to the 80%, okay, from the 60 to the 80%. So I want my peak to move over here and over here. So probably it's moving like in this kind of square, okay? So as I told you, so 60%, from the 60% to the 79%, okay, I guess that will be okay. So now let's check it. Let's just try to hit him, and that's it. Then I try, and that's it. And then you just add a sound, points, score, and you have one version of this kind of game. I will show you something else in the next video. I guess that's all for today, okay? If you check, remember you can download the source file, well, not the source file, but just the initial file to follow this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to share this with your friends, classmates, or anyone who's learning App Inventor just like me, okay? Also visit my Facebook page, that it's not very updated sometimes, but I can help you over there, and sometimes I can, you can send me a message, but sometimes I'm really busy, okay, so I have to be honest, okay, with real life and everything, okay, so but I will be really helpful, really happy to help you with your problems or situations with my tutorials, okay? So please enjoy this project, okay? Make it more interesting. You can change many things, okay? So, and I will show you in the next, because I have many ideas for this thing, okay? So my name is Eduardo. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with App Inventor, okay, that you can follow with appybuilder, okay, one of my favorites, okay, thunkable, that it's amazing, okay, and MakerOid, okay, that it has very cool things, okay. So I will try to follow this tutorial in the next with a different, okay, no App Inventor. I will try to use another one, okay, just to show you that you can use any of them, okay, and that are great. So thanks for watching this. My name is Eduardo. Bye.